you, sir, for your presence. Thank you, sir, for your presence. I would like to mention that Professor Sheikh Mohammed was instrumental in giving this idea to celebrate this International Day of Persons with Disabilities at the new college and the Department of Zoology. Okay. I would also like to welcome Ms. Raghavi Senthilkumar, Director and Founder, Headway Academy and Foundation, who is going to speak on equal employment opportunities. Okay. It is also a pleasure to welcome our organizing secretary, Professor Zoyeb Mohamed Zia. Please give him a very big hand. I'll give you the reason for that. So 100% he has made all arrangements for this webinar. Okay. Right from its inception, selecting the theme, coordinating with the resource person, and making all the other formalities and arrangements have been done by him. Okay, so he has proved that he's more than equal. I would not even say equal, more than equal to any person who is able. I would like to mention one important thing here, that the new college and the Department of Zoology. So I am in fact very happy that all my colleagues here have been very supportive when there was an opportunity for Mr. Zia to join the department, first as a student and later as one of our colleagues. Okay. And every member of the staff have stood behind him, and they have done their best to make it a better experience. I would not say a good experience, because we do have some deficiencies in the college when it comes to providing facilities. Okay, but the whole department has been united in seeing to it that Professor Zia has a better experience in the department. Okay, I'm grateful to my own colleagues for that. Okay, as mandated by the United Nations, globally, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities is celebrated on 3rd December, and it is fitting that we were able to stick to the schedule or the date and conduct this national webinar thanks to the efforts taken by Professor Zia. Okay. As all of you are aware, I am not going to take much time regarding the theme of this webinar and other details. We have Zia himself as the resource person, and he is the right person to throw more light on that. Okay. My own take here is, I am somehow not happy with the term persons with disabilities. I would say that it is better to say that they are also persons with abilities, or maybe special abilities. Okay, so we need not mention like that. At the same time, it is very important that everyone supports and gives them ample and equal opportunities so that they can also contribute to the society. And Zia himself is a very good example and a role model. So more than what is prescribed for the staff member, we have Professor Zia handling more number of classes, whether it is theory, and he has also taken active interest in all the activities of the department. Okay. I would also like to mention here that from whatever little knowledge I have, there have been a number of persons. I would just mention a few whom I admire a lot. Okay, so probably some of them are well known, and they are also celebrities. Okay, so we have people from different walks of life, cutting across politics, the arts, media, the performing arts, and so on, sports also, who have excelled in spite of the so-called, I mean, the terminology I told you, disabilities. Okay. So for the first person who comes to my mind is Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the former president of United States. So I think I don't have to mention anything else. When a person with such disabilities is able to be or perform as one of the best presidents of United States, okay, then I think there is no question of trying to compare with how well, I mean, you can compare them with an able person and so on. Okay. And then we have Helen Keller and one of my favorite musicians, Stevie Wonder. Okay, so on and so forth. So it is a very big list, and I would like to compliment once again Professor Zia for organizing this webinar. I'm sure all the participants who are here will have a very good take-home message that such people don't require your sympathy and all that, but they require your support so that they can perform to the best of their abilities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words. Thank you for your encouragement and your constant motivation. Now, I request our Vice Principal Academic, Professor S.A. Sheikh Mohammed, to deliver the presidential address.
Zia sir,
Yes, sir.
sorry to interrupt. Has Vice Principal Academics joined?
One second, sir. No, sir, he's not joined yet.
Zia, I will check and let you know. No? I will check and let you know. Right. Just a minute.
I've already shared the link with him.
Yeah.
So I thought probably you have already seen whether he has joined. So I didn't know that he's yet to join.
Dear participants, please wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Let our Vice Principal join. Dear participants, please bear with us for few moments.
Zia, I informed Sheikh sir, he joined in a fraction of seconds. Okay.
Dear participants, sorry for the wait. Now I welcome our Vice Principal Academic, Dr.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Professor S.A. Sheikh Mohammed, to give a presidential address.
Assalamu alaikum, Zia.
Walaikum salam, sir. I request you to give a presidential address, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Walaikum salam. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So sorry. I thought it is 3:30. So because you mentioned that you want me to join at 3 o'clock. Okay,
Yes, sir.
anyway. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Assalamu
you.
alaikum and a very good afternoon to one and all present here. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to be part of this today's program, which is so dear to me, because abilities are, it varies from person to person. And here today we are celebrating the day of the disability, the disabled people. And it is it's very interesting to note that the word disability, here it focuses more on ability. So we are here to recognize the talents of the people and also to support them in every possible way to achieve or to give their best in all the fields. And we have our own resources, and our Mr. Zoyeb Zia, he is going to be the resource person for the first session, and he'll be narrating his own experiences. And here I would like to mention that he has contributed a lot in this particular field, and he has done a lot of he and his father, his family members together, they are doing a lot of human service to disabled people, and they are helping them in all possible ways. So you have got the right person who can, here it is not that somebody who will be just speaking, but someone who understands, who knows, and who will be able to give 100% factual information. So that way, this is going to be a very interesting session. And not only that, followed by there is another person. She is also a very good resource person. She'll be able to tell us more about the opportunities for the people. And it is our prime duty to support these people and also to help them to bring out their best. Not just sympathize with them, but here we have to give them equal opportunity and to help them to bring out their best. So this particular program will definitely help our people, the people who are right now in this virtual meet. They will understand the reality and they will support in all possible ways. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish all the very best to the organizers and also to the speaker and also to the people who are attending this program to get very good information on this particular program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your wishes and your kind words. Good afternoon once again, everyone. I am Zoyeb Mohamed Zia, Assistant Professor in the PG and Research Department of Zoology, the New College. So, first of all, let me give you a little bit of a background on myself. I finished my PG in the year 2016, and after PG, I did my MPhil also, which I completed in 2017. And while I was pursuing an MPhil, I appeared for a state level exam, which is State Eligibility Test or the ACT, which is for the post of assistant professors. I cleared that exam and have been working in the Department of Zoology ever since. So, I'll, as mentioned earlier, I'll be one of the resource persons today, the first resource person, first out of the two. My speech would be focusing a little bit on the specifics, highlighting the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, and I'll be ending with a note on the participation of persons with disabilities in higher education. That is how they can participate and how they will be helped in the process. As mentioned earlier, International Day of Persons with Disabilities, as you must have seen in the poster, it is celebrated on 3rd of December. It was actually proclaimed by the United Nations in the year 1992 to be celebrated on this day, the 3rd of December, worldwide. This day, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, tries to mobilize support for critical issues around persons with disabilities, like promoting awareness raising events, and it also draws into attention to issues like inclusion and how we can achieve an inclusive society where everyone is included. For this particular day, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, each year the UN announces a theme to be observed internationally. The purpose of this theme is that it acts as an overarching focus on how the society can strive for inclusivity through removal of physical, attitudinal, and all barriers which are in the way of persons with disabilities. So, one of the main issues here for this day, the focus is on removing barriers. This year, as per the UN, the theme for this particular day, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, was said to be leadership and participation of persons with disabilities towards an inclusive, accessible, and a sustainable post-COVID-19 world. So, as per the estimates of the United Nations, as per some statistics, they've declared that about 1 billion people, or around 15% of the world population, is persons with some form of physical disability. Also, as noted by the United Nations, persons with disabilities are, during this pandemic period, they were at a greater risk of infection from this COVID-19, resulting in mortality. These persons with disabilities, even before the pandemic, they were facing some discriminatory factors which are already existing. Major one of that being the accessibility issues. After this pandemic came in, these issues which were already existing before the pandemic, they just got highlighted. The highlighting became even more bolder and even clearer. Some of the key existing barriers or challenges for the persons with disabilities, which I think they are getting addressed now. There are some of them. For example, persons with disabilities are more likely to miss out on quality education and career options. And because of this, they are more liable to live in poverty or sometimes even below poverty lines. Barriers to healthcare, education, social care, and information are more emphasized for persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities are either totally excluded from the mainstream jobs and careers or are given menial posts. Even if they get the post, they are not able to sometimes progress through it, or sometimes they feel it difficult even to retain the posts. Lack of awareness, apprehension on the abilities, prejudice, and social stigma contribute to the discrimination and exclusion experienced by the people with disabilities and also their families in all parts of their life. This pandemic and the lockdown brought in many difficulties and hardships, as you all must be knowing, but also as a side effect, it highlighted some of the other possibilities which are available for us. Before itself, there were many options available. There were actually many people asking for more options from various segments, but their calls and their cries were not given much importance. There were many options available for making accessible websites, technologies, devices, and everything which could make life much more easier. But somehow they were not given very much important previous to the pandemic. After this pandemic, it became sort of a leveler. Remote education and work was not just encouraged, it got emphasized. Work from home became the norm for everyone. Zoom meetings, these online meetings, data sharing, and webinars became more and more the norm. It became more and more common. Now, with this level playing field, it was proven that the social and structural barriers which were existing were the main reason for the persons with disability to struggle, fail, or sometimes even give up. Lack of awareness in the society, as mentioned earlier, has been the biggest worry for persons with disabilities. So let us join hands, do our bit to spread awareness and encourage persons with disabilities to go lead a respectable and inclusive life. Here, I'd like to say I'm very happy that uh, this institution where I'm working has given me this opportunity to lead a respectable and meaningful life. And now, as mentioned earlier in the beginning of this speech, I had mentioned that the United Nations is the authority figure on matters concerning people with disabilities. Internationally, the United Nations has designed a treaty called the UNCRPD. You might have heard of it. It is called the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. This comes under the Department of Economic and Social Affairs, or the DESA. This treaty was uh, signed in the UN headquarters and adopted by them in the year 2006. So after adopting this treaty, after making it ready, it was opened up to signatures in the year 2007. And after opening it up, India was a signatory in the year 2007 itself. That is in the year 2007 itself, when it was opened, India has signed on to and agreed to the documents in the convention. So some of the general rights highlighted by this convention are equality before law without discrimination, right to life, liberty and security, freedom from torture, freedom from exploitation, etc. Exploitation meaning all forms of exploitation, be it mental or be it physical or be it policy-wise. This also guarantees the respect of privacy, right to education, right to health, right to work, and some more. India, on its part, they already had laws protecting the rights of persons with disability. These laws were already existing before they could sign on to the UNCRPD in 2007. There was an act specifically called the Persons with Disabilities, Equal Opportunities, Protection of Rights and Full Participation Act of 1995. This act was later on ratified to the IDPWD, or the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act of 2016. Now, when talking of the Indian scenario in particular, as you know, this issue of rights of persons with disabilities comes under the central government. So the central government has a specific department and a corresponding website being run by it. That is the Department of Empowerment of People with Disabilities under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. This, as I mentioned, has a very accessible and user-friendly website at the URL disabilityaffairs.gov.in. This website highlights various laws, acts, and policies relevant to the PWD. This website also has, among others, a section highlighting the various schemes available to the PWD, ranging from various concessions available to various scholarships available. This particular section of scholarship is of interest to us, particularly in higher education. Now, talking of the acts, the most important act pertaining to the PWD, as I had mentioned earlier, is the RPWD Act of 2016. A gist highlighting the important points of this voluminous act. There's about 37 pages of the act. A gist of this act will be available for you at the above mentioned website. The website which I had mentioned earlier, disabilityaffairs.gov.in, will have a gist highlighting all the important points for a quick reading and understanding of the act. But obviously, even the full PDF is available to you for a thorough reading later on. You can download it and you can go through the document at your own leisure, but the gist is available for you. So among the main points highlighted by this act, particularly concerning this participation in the higher education, is a 5% reservation in government run. The government guarantees a 5% reservation in seats for admission in government run institutions. And then the other important thing of significance to us is a 4% reservation in government jobs. Obviously, these jobs are going to have categories, and one of those categories also mentions jobs in higher education institutes. particularly in the government. Now, when talking of higher education in India, as you all must be knowing, there are two main regulators of higher education in India. That is the AICTE for technical education and the UGC for arts, science and humanities. Both of these provide their own means to help out students with disabilities. On their part, they are providing what are the guidelines to help out people with disabilities. After all, seeking higher education in spite of physical disability is not a meager task, and it warrants any and all assistance coming its way. For example, of all the ways and means they are trying to help out students with disabilities. For example, the 5% reservation in seats provided by the government. As I told you, the government gives 5% reservation in seats for admission in the government higher education institutes. Along with that, a percentage mark relaxation in qualifying exams, mostly for postgraduate and uh, higher education exams, that is higher than your undergraduate courses. You get a percentage mark relaxation in the qualifying marks. So this reservation of seats along with the reservation of uh, this relaxation in marks in the qualifying exam is going to act as a helper to the PWD. It will make it easier for them to gain access to higher education. Along with this, there is also a relaxation in the minimum age required for some exams. There's an age limit to some exam. There's a relaxation provided there also for persons with disabilities. Now the AICTE, we see on the website, they have a specific section, entire section which is labeled facilities for the disabled. Obviously, if you go through all the facilities there, one of them being that uh, more of disabled students should be tried to accommodate it in the open quota, and then you have to fill the reserved seats. Like this, there are many other points mentioned under that section, particularly for the person with disabilities. If you go through all the points, you'll see that not 100% of the points are achieved, or many of the points are something to be investigated further. But the mere mention of such a section on their official website, on a official website, and having an entire section just highlighting issues for the persons with disabilities is something of a positive indicator for PWDs. The UGC on its part, you see in the UGC also, there is a one section which is totally dedicated to the facilities provided to the PWD, the persons with disabilities who are seeking to pursue higher education through the UGC. Some of the important points mentioned there is the NFPWD, or the National Fellowship for Persons with Disability. This again a fellowship which is provided in the form of financial assistance to people with disabilities wanting to pursue an MPhil or a PhD in government-run institutes. There is also financial assistance which is provided to government-run higher education institutes like colleges and universities, This particular scheme is called the HEPSN, or the Higher Education for Persons with Special Needs scheme. Under this scheme, as mentioned, financial assistance is provided to the institute directly to procure and to maintain equipment and infrastructure for aiding the PWDs in their institute. One more scheme I'd like to mention here is a teacher preparation in special education, or the TEPSC scheme. This is a type of financial uh, assistance which is provided to particularly to the departments of education, particularly PD and MED, to encourage them to start courses, particularly to train teachers for special education. And apart from this, there are also some financial assistance, for example, offered to the visually challenged individuals, visually challenged teachers in higher education institutes. So, but ultimately, in spite of all these laws, all these policies, and all these acts, in spite of the government trying to help us, trying to bring in new laws, new policies, etc., it ultimately comes down to the public. It ultimately comes down to how individuals act, how individuals accept the persons with disabilities in the society. So now I'd like to end this session of mine with a small appeal and a request to all of you to take an active effort to sensitize yourself, make yourself more familiar to the issues of the persons with disability. If not at least going out of the way, you can at least look around you, maybe in your own institution, maybe in your friend circle, or anyone who is close to you, who is a person with disability. Try to understand the issues he or she is facing. Thank you. Now, for our second session, I'd like to invite a special speaker here, who's Mrs. Raghavi K. Senthilkumar. Mrs. Raghavi K. Senthilkumar is a very great, distinguished, and extremely well-known personality, especially in the PwD community of Chennai. As mentioned earlier, she is a director and the founder of the Headway Academy and Foundation. It is an organization working towards the upliftment and empowerment of persons with disabilities through various avenues ranging from sports to employment to entrepreneurship. She has many accolades to her name, holding many coveted posts. To name a few, she is the Associate State President of CISME, that is a Confederation of Indian Small and Medium Enterprises. She is the Vice President of TNPSCD, the Tamil Nadu Para Cricket Association for the Disabled. She is a Management Committee member of the ISTD, the Indian Society of Training and Development. She is a member of the Spiritual Council at WICCI, the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She is a member of the IWC, or the Inner Wheelchair Club of the Chennai Daffodils. She is the ambassador of the NGO and the charitable trust SAIL, and she is the brand ambassador of IWO that is the Indian Women's Organization. She is an entrepreneur, a HR consultant, a motivational speaker with a BTech, MBA, and a PG diploma in training and development. And she also has many prestigious awards in her name for her activities in this field. To top it all off, she is POSH and POSCO certified. All in all, she is the apt personality to be speaking to us on this occasion. We are pleased to have her here today. Please take it away, Raghavi. Raghavi, ma'am.
Thank you for the introduction. I am actually not able to on the video. I think the host has disabled the video of mine.
Yeah. Yeah, please, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Am I visible? Am I audible? I want people to let me know because I'm actually traveling, and today's technology has, made us all very, very comfortable. You can all, sit at your place. You no matter where are you, what are you can meet people. So that's the advantage what digital technology has given us today. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So, okay, now, thank you, Zoyeb, for the lovely introduction. Hope this ambience is all comfortable and all that. Yeah, first let me assure that. Yes.
Yes.
I'm inside my vehicle actually, so that's okay, no problem. Because being International Day of Persons with Disabilities, I'm also heading to another event. So I did not want to deny Zoyeb's invitation. So that's how this session is happening. And yes, thank you, Zoyeb, for having me here this day, especially this day. And I'm feeling very grateful to the new college who has consented to do this event for you, for us, for everybody here. And a very, very good afternoon and a happy disability to do, one and all present here. So I would love to set some theme here. Yes, I would love interaction. So if you all can assure me some interaction, I think the session will go, even more lively. Yes, will you all assure me? Text is also fine with me. It's not that you need to unmute, talk to me, not required. You can also text me. That's Keshav 100%. Thank you, Keshav. So anybody else with me who can take this as a very interactive session? Yes, we have Zia, sir. Thank you. Anybody else? I'm sure there are students, there are faculty here. Only 2 people from this big crowd. I could see a pretty good number of people here. Yes. Slowly, aram se. Okay, let me say yes, but let me see how the session is going to happen. Let me see if I'll have to off my video, off my audio, quit, go back, attend calls and come back. Oh, so much of dilemma this digital revolution is giving us. So I'm going to talk to you for the next few minutes. So I really need some motivation here from all of you. Let's be interactive. Thank you so much for all the the replies, the late replies, of the delayed replies, of course, replies. Thank you so much. And today is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. December 3 is marked. I think Zoyeb has given a great introduction about the day, about the significance of what it is and all that. I am going to talk to you about employment related stuff. I'm also going to talk to you about my my life journey in terms of employment and all that. Also, I'm going to relate accordingly. So before that, let me understand. What do you think? I think the topic given to me, is about equal employment opportunity. So quickly, all your thumbs, all your fingers on the chat box. What do you think? What comes to your mind when it comes to equal employment opportunity? Can I have some answers? Quick answers, please. What comes to your mind when we say equal employment opportunity? You can either unmute your audio and talk, or you can text. I'm fine with anything. Yes, yes, yes. I'm looking for some answers.
Opportunity to get employment.
Yes, thank you, Zoyeb, for the start. Level playing field. All right. And the field is now set. Yes, I'm looking for more answers. What is equal employment opportunity? I'm sure many of you are now going to.
Sister.
I.
It's nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. Okay, not to discriminate. Dignity on par with others. Fine. Though I'm getting delayed answers, I'm fine. I'm fine with good answers here. Any more? All right. See, equal employment opportunity. Yes, this is again another favorite topic of mine, which actually is all about level playing field. Very simply saying, the society is made up of many people, many communities. All of us are here in the society. We all educate ourselves. We all employ ourselves. We all get into entrepreneurship. We all get into family. So many societal events, programs. So many other things. Are we equal? Is the society looking things equally? Is what is my question to all of you. You said no discrimination. Level playing field is what is equal employment opportunity. So whether it is employment or entrepreneurship or anything of that matter in the society, are we equal? So that's my next question. Yes, no. What do you think? Quick.
We are supposed to be equal, but somehow there is some inequality existing.
Okay, no, okay, yes, no, fine. Maybe, certainly, definitely. So what is that you think?
Raghavi, the point is, it's been known for some time. It can be yes, made yes for some time.
That's what. But we pretend. All right. So fine. Okay. So let me take all these answers. Yes. It was no. Absolutely right. It was no. It is kind of okay now. People are looking at talents, whether it is disability or normal person or whatever. People are looking at talents, but elsewhere there is a set of people who are literally pretending. Yes, we are pretending. I am taking all of these answers. So equal employment opportunity is about having a very equal, okay, very inclusive organizational setup, no matter which domain, which industry the organization is into. It is all about equal preference to all people, just that the organizations will have to look at the talent, the required skill set, whatever is required for that particular job and not anything else. So that's what is equal employment opportunity. It need not be just disability. It can be, in the religion part, caste, creed, gender. So many other races, differential races are there. So no matter what, there is equality in providing employment opportunities to people. That is what is equal employment opportunity. So on that note, there are certain laws, as to, we depend upon, whether it is Civil Rights Act or, United States EEO Act, Equal Employment Opportunities Act. All of them says one thing: unless and until the person has the right talent, the required skill set, that the job requires, he or she has the right to get employed. So next question is, are we following all this? Are every organizations, in a mindset to employ persons with disabilities? What are the hiccups? Why are we not still inclusive? I'm so worried to listen to this word. Yes, we pretend. But why do we have to pretend? So in this next quick few minutes of time, let us all discuss this. And before that, yes, I am also wanting to relate this with my life journey. I'm BTech with MBA, with diploma on training and development, and almost to the verge of completing my doctorate. So this is about my educational contour. And engineering, I started my UG, of course, with no focus in what I am going to do, or am I serious about my engineering? I really didn't know that time. But everybody else did engineering. Engineering was something that was most wanted. So my parents got me into engineering, very simple. Then I had to do my MBA because that was my passion. I found out this passion in quite some time after my engineering life, that coding and programming was not my cup of tea. I wanted to do management. I wanted to do administration. I wanted to be in in a place where I sign up the files, pick up the calls, leave the office, kind of thing. It was too early for me, but yes. So I took up MBA. I finished my full time. Because there are a lot of hurdles because I'm also a polio victim. Got acquired by polio when I was 3 months old. Education was also a little tough, but then with good amount of people around, I had completed all my education successfully. After by the end of completion of my MBA, yes, I was trying to Google, and that was the time when all these Google and stuffs are, have come up, and it was all of them. Any particular information, we Google it. That was the time we started Google. So Googling. I used to Google and check, the companies, the list of companies which recruit persons with disabilities, because fear, the fear of what next, fear of how am I going to get into office, fear of my mobility, fear of dash 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 dash. That fear was very, very important for what I am today. Yes, the fear of what next is something that drives you. It shouldn't be a fear. Actually, it shouldn't be a fear. It should be a confident mindset that will have to go. But lack of awareness, lot many opportunities prevailing, but we don't know how to, whether it is the recipient end or the giving end. There were a lot of opportunities even that time, but people don't know how to take it about, whether it is for a differently able person or for anybody else. So that was the time I was looking out for job, and I had this fear of what next. So I used to Google and see the job companies, recruit persons with disabilities and all that. Yes, I had a pretty good number of people, organizations who were actually recruiting persons with disabilities. But then again, there are a lot of questions. Will the place have a ramp? Will the place have a lift facility? So many, all blah blah blah. So the point here is, yes, I got into a job. I got into an IT company as an HR, and that's where my career started. With the help of all my bosses, my colleagues, my peer group, my management. Yes, I had a great corporate experience. That time I found out how important is employment, how important is equal opportunities in employment, because it is not just getting into a job at all. How good is the recruitment process? How good is the background verification check? How good is the interview process? How good is the pay scale standards? How good is the compensation? How good is the benefits? How good is the leave attendance marked? How good is the benefits that's provided? How good is the transfer, promotion, all this stuff? It's not just about one thing. That's something that you get employed and you're there. It's not just that way. It's so many things that you're there in the corporate, and the organization will have to take care. Is the organization taking care? Are all the organization taking steps in terms of having a satisfied differently abled employee? I'm happy. My company did, but how many companies are doing? That made me get into something on this area on equal employment opportunity, and that's where I did my doctorate on equal employment opportunity for different labor class, my research work. And yes, I picked about top five NASCOM registered organization IT companies, and I did my research work on that, and I felt a little happy about my research work that pretty good number of employees were very happy, satisfied about their organizations. But that was IT company. Computer technology has made everybody comfortable in terms of doing the work, proceeding with a career. But what about other domains, other industries? How many differently abled people can get into a manufacturing field? How many differently abled people can get into a hospitality industry? All these were question marks that time. But today, when I look back, it's been about 10 years. And when I look back today, I am happy to see so many people, so many organizations giving up many initiatives in terms of recruiting hearing and speech impaired people, recruiting visually impaired people, recruiting persons with cerebral palsy, autism, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy. All these are types of disabilities, and there are 21 types of disabilities according to our, the, the, the disability structure. There is also deaf blind. How many of us know deaf and blind? Are these people employed? I know one person who's been into work, and the way people communicate with this person is highly powerful. Just imagine, you close your eyes and you close your ears. You don't see anything, you don't listen anything. How would you communicate? How do you do a job? How will employees, how many employers will recruit you, employ you? All these are still things that needs answers. Literally, those questions need answers. So yes, I did my research work. Then I happened to uh, you know place many persons with students with disabilities um, in companies. That was the time. I didn't know that was an opportunity that God has given me, and I did it. And that was the time. Yes, I felt really happy about what I am, and I felt that is going to be a more powerful thing that anybody can have, any person with disability can have, because I always say, reach out to people and shout out that education and employment, these are the two things that makes any person with disability on par with anybody else. So no matter what, at any point in time, don't never give up education, never give up employment. It need not be just employment. It can be about an entrepreneurship also. It is about career. So giving up education, giving up career is the worst thing that any person can ever do. It's not just about a person with disability, but any person. But I feel that is where you can be on par with normal people. So yes, after placing many students with disabilities, then I had an opportunity to place many different able people across Tamil Nadu in various about 100 companies, and that was the time I literally did some justice to as to what I really wanted to do for this disability. And then I started giving about sensitivity trainings, employee sensitivity trainings to organizations, how a peer group will have to accept persons with disabilities, how sensitized organizations should be. It is not a matter of, what do you say, investing on such matters. When any organization does not need extra funds to kind of invest on this, it is just a matter of few things that your mindset will have to change, and obviously the working patterns, the working conditions can be changed at ease. And this I started talking about in various organizations, how sensitive the organization should be, how sensitive the peer group, the bosses, the supervisors, the bosca bosses, all these people should be in a positive mindset in terms of employing persons with disabilities. So this is something that, again, another core area of mine. And what next?
Dear,
It's not audible. Not audible.
Sorry.
dear participants, please bear with us. I think there's some technical difficulties.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah,
Go,
now
go
you
ahead,
are.
go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. So, where are we? We are in a place where we place the people. We are giving a lot of sensitization trainings to people, and there's attrition. So why is this attrition coming up? And there is a big complaint from the organizations, from the industries, that people with disabilities are not sustaining in the organizations. Why? So then we had to do a lot of analysis on this, and one thing, there's a gap between the employer and the employee, the differently abled employee. So the company wise, people are not really open enough to handle things, open enough to take up employment opportunities to people. It is not just, as I told you, it is not just about recruiting. It is also about how satisfied the employees there inside the organization. At the same time, not many differently able people are serious about the jobs. Today, there are people who feel, okay, chalo, let me put a shop, a petty shop, and take up my life. Let me put one, what do you say, undergo a vocational training, keep some, shops, and get on to my life. So that mental attitude was there in many people. We found out that nothing wrong. Getting into entrepreneurship, getting into self-employment is not wrong at all. I don't mean it's wrong. But at the same time, getting into employment is something that we had to pierce in. We had to penetrate this idea into their minds that employment is something that you can withstand in longer run. So then we started giving up, exclusive skill development training programs, workshops on educating people, and all that also. So all these were part of my career. It has been my career itself. So not just that, now after 5 years of, after 2 years of my personal work towards disability, and after 5 years of my official work towards disability, because our organization is turning five, has turned five a day before yesterday. So all these years, the the amount of effort that we had put in terms of empowering persons with disabilities was not just employment. It is also about giving education support. It is also about giving livelihood support, entrepreneurship opportunities, bringing avenues for people who have specific talents. Not everybody will be educated enough to get into corporate. It is not that. See, talent varies, mindset, skill set varies, and we all know that. So, but are the parents aware of it? Are the families aware of it? How many, the families are supporting in terms of identifying the skill set of, a person with disability, and making their career flourish in that particular passion? I really, I can number them. Zoyeb is one example. I know Zoyeb for quite some time now. I know Zoyeb's father, how much effort he takes. I know Keshav. So all these people, because they're all here, I wanted to quote them. All these guys are role models in the society. It is also about getting into employment. It is also good about getting into entrepreneurship. It is also good about getting into your passionate field in your specific talent. How, if you're best at any particular talent, yes, you have a career in it. You have a career in it. That's what we say to the people, that equal opportunities is what is to be provided. whether it is employment, or entrepreneurship, or anything of that matter. It is all about inclusion. It is all about diversity. It is all about equality. And what happens when we go about this equal employment opportunity, EEO? Yes, studies have said that organizations have seen lot of productivity hike in their particular job based tasks. People have found that their clients are satisfied, happy customers are there, employees, the peer group are satisfied. There is a brand reputation that, okay, if this company is equally equal employment opportunity provider, yes, the company has its own brand reputation. How many of you knows how many companies does that? The very first organization that when I googled and saw, it was IBM. But today there are many IBMs. There are many startups who are giving opportunities for persons with disabilities. I'm so happy about it. But yes, there are many diversity and inclusion based initiatives that organizations are coming up with, having specific recruitment policies and procedures inside the organization to bring persons with disabilities. Yet, the statistics of what today, the census 2011 says, that was the last census for us. So, what census 2011 says? Out of the 2.68, out of the 121 crore population, we have 2.68 crores of differently abled population. And pathetically, only 0.54% of people are working in government sector, and about 0.28% are working in private organizations. And this is the number that I have been calling out from the time I've been taken this disability thing in my hands. And the statistics have never changed. And 0.05% of the population are into MNCs. So where are we heading? Are we in the right track? I'm leaving this to the audience here. I'm sure this audience group has many future leaders, of course, a good number of teaching professionals who are creating those future leaders. So I'm leaving this question open here amongst this audience, that will you be able to recruit or accept a person with disability in your employment? If you say yes, there is a long way for the people in the society to run along. If your answer is no, please do reach out to us and tell us, why do you want to say no? We will say what are the benefits of making that happen. Why should you say yes? So with this, thank you for the opportunity, Zoyeb. Equal employment opportunity is a larger ocean, and I'm sure when people all join hands, people all come up with the right ideas, the equality based mindsets and perceptions. I think we will have a very equal opportunity society and make this world an inclusive place. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Raghavi ma'am. Thank you for accepting invitation. A few things you said really hit home, specifically for me. You had mentioned that at one point you were worried about accommodations in your workplace, particularly an office complex and all that. That was something I've been observing for some time now. I've seen ramps for the disabled being used as parking spaces. People sitting in front of the ramps and blocking the path and all that. I've seen places where those paths for the visually disabled are being blocked by objects. They actually meant for blind people to walk more easily. They're being blocked by objects. So all these there are a few conditions. So as I was mentioning earlier, there are laws, policies, etc. being set, but it ultimately comes down to people. People are not able to accept those laws and follow those acts. They want to do as they wish, as a please, without consideration. They are going about. So that's one point which directly hit to know. And obviously, as you were mentioning, employment is somewhat of a two-way street. It depends on the proficiency of the PWD who is seeking employment, and it also depends on the ability of the organization to accept the person with disabilities. So thank you once again, ma'am. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you to all the lovely audience, and thank you, New College, for providing this opportunity. Thank you, Zoyeb.
Dear participants, now we'll be open for a question answer session. If anyone wants to ask any questions, they can unmute themselves and please ask your questions. You can even use a chat box. And dear participants, you can Google the Headway Foundation and follow up on their work. They're doing amazing work. As mentioned earlier, one of the fortes is employment and entrepreneurship. Anyone who wants to get in touch with them can contact them. Now I'd request Dr. A.K. Sultan Mohideen to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Zia. Disability is not inability. Revered principal, respected vice principals, academic administration, beloved HOD of Zoology, honorable resource persons, Mr. Zia and Dr. Raghavi Senthilkumar, Madam, organizing secretary, colleagues from my department and other departments of our college, faculty members from other colleges, participants, and my dear students. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu, and good evening to all of you. At the outset, first let me thank the Almighty for all his innumerable blessings and for making this webinar a grand success. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of Zoology, I express my sincere thanks to the magnanimous management for providing financial support and encouragement. I'm also thankful to the principal for his unstinted support and encouragement. I'm thankful to the vice principals, academic and administration for their kind motivation. I'll be failing in my duty if I don't thank the vice principal, academic, for his kind presence in spite of his busy schedule. Thank you, sir, for the motivation and kind words. My thanks are also due to our HOD of Zoology, who is the brainchild for this webinar series. He has always been a source of strength and pillar of support in all our academic activities. My thanks are due to the first resource person, Mr. Zia, for highlighting the significance of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, insights on the education during the pandemic, and useful links on higher education and employment opportunities for differently able persons. I'm extremely grateful to the second resource person, Dr. Raghavi ma'am, for delivering such a wonderful lecture, which was very interactive, who also made the session lively with scintillating, simple, mind-blowing questions pertaining to equal employment opportunities, different acts, etc., and raised some important and critical questions and stressing on the employment of differently able persons in various sectors. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that enlightening session.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I wish to thank the organizing secretary, Mr. Zia, who has taken all the efforts in preparing the brochure, designing e-certificates, and creating Google Forms, and for organizing this unique seminar. Teamwork makes the dream work. I wish to thank my colleagues for their kind support and encouragement. I'm also thankful to all the members of faculty, participants and students for their active participation and patient listening. Thank you, one and all.
Dear participants, please fill the feedback link which will be posted in the comment section. I once again thank all my colleagues for participation.
Hi Zoyeb, thank you so much for giving this invitation to me. Also, it was lovely and it was really bliss. I learned a lot here, and thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Keshav. Thanks. Dear participants, please fill the feedback form. Dear participants, thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience listening.
Thank you, Zoyeb. It was really nice. Thank you. I just joined late, but it was really lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Keshav.
I'm happy to support our team. Thank you.